Okay, this lesson is solving equations, and for the most part, the steps here in this example are correct. What I really wanted to show you or they are correct. I just really wanted to show you that there are multiple ways to do it. So if you look over here, what they've done is multiply by 3, and the reason they've done that is to get rid of fractions. Now when they multiply by 3, the 3's cancel here, but you also have to multiply everything else by 3, which is where you get these numbers. Then you can distribute and solve. In this particular case, they wanted to go ahead and move the 8 over, isolate it here, then multiply by 3. Again, that gets rid of your fraction, but you're only multiplying one number by 3 here, whereas over here you had to multiply the 8 and 32 to get these two numbers. Again, the idea being there are different ways to solve problems. For this particular example, it's a word problem, sum of 3 consecutive integers, 3 integers in a row. So that means each integer increases by 1. So if the first integer is x, the next one's x plus 1. So if this was 3, you would get 4 by adding 1. If this was 3, you would get 5 by adding 2. So you add 1 each time if they're consecutive integers. Now we're going to do an example that's slightly different. This example says 3 consecutive odd integers. Now because they're odd integers differ by 2. So if you think like 3, 5, 7, those increase by 2 each time. So this would be like my x plus, now instead of x plus 1, it'd be x plus 2, and then the next number would be x plus 4. Seems kind of counterintuitive because you're increasing by 2's, which are not odds, but that's how it works. Remember, is always equals, so we have equals 57. Now we solve. How do we solve? We combine our like terms. So there are all of our x's, so that gives me 3x. Then I just mark through these to let me know I've used them. Then I have my numbers, 2 and 4 are 6. Whenever you solve, do the opposite. So subtract 6. It's 51. Divide by 3. And x is. Okay, now, calculators are always fine. Obviously, we need to kind of know this. That's 17. Now, I'm not done. The question asks, what are my 3 integers? So if the first one is 17, the next one would be 19, the next one would be 21. Then what you need to do is make sure that those work. If I add these two, that's 40. 40 and 17 would give me 57, so that works. Please always answer the question. It's not just about solving for the variable. Here's another example. I'm just going to highlight some of the points here. We have percentages in this problem. Whenever you have a percent in a problem, you never leave it as a percent, you change it as a decimal. You had a solution that was 25 liters, but you had mixtures of 10% and 30%. Well, I don't know how much of each I had. So the 10% they said was x. The 30% solution is 25 minus x. Now why is that? Because the total we had was 25. So if I take 25 and I subtract the 10%, then that's going to give me how much is left of the 30% solution, which is where that expression comes from down here. So that's how they set up the equation, and then obviously they work it. You have decimals, okay? So let's talk about your answers you get. Right here they got a decimal answer. Decimals make sense here because what we're talking about is amounts of a solution. Now you could also write 18 3/4, and that would be acceptable. 18 3/4 liters, that's okay. What you probably would not want to do is write it as a mixed number. So if you did a mixed number, if you remember how this works, you multiply, then add. So if you multiply that, you get 75, and add the 3, 75 over 4. that answer does not necessarily make sense in the context of this problem. So always think about that when you're doing problems and solving and answering. Next, we have an example of students who bought tickets, and we want to see how much the original price was. So I'm going to set this up a little different here on the side. I'm going to move my marker over here. So we bought 4 tickets, or 4 people bought tickets. We don't know how much they were originally, but we know we got a discount. So I'm going to say P is the price of the ticket originally, then minus my discount of $15. That's going to be my cost. Well, what was my cost equal to? My cost was equal to 312. So that gives me my equation set up to solve. I'm not going to work that out. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of when you're looking at word problems how to conceptually think through and set them up. Finally, we have an example of a person who is walking, leaving, and trying to figure out distance based on time and speed. Okay, so in these, you really want to take your time and focus on what's happening. 12:30 p.m., bikes at 12 miles an hour to Marta's house. She stays at Marta's house for 90 minutes. Both girls walk back to Latania's house, along the same route, 2.5 miles an hour. They arrive at Latania's house at 3:30 p.m. How far is Marta's house from Latania's? So to figure this out, we got to think about, first of all, the total amount of time. So from 12:30 to 3:30 is 3 hours, okay? But remember, they stayed there for 90 minutes. So really, they were only traveling for 1.5 hours. That's our total travel time. So much like the last problem we looked at, similar to that would be talking about the amount of time. So the total time, again, is 1.5 hours. What we've learned, though, is that we don't know how much time she went biking and how much time she went walking. What we do know is the basic principle: distance equals rate times time. Well, the distance is the same. They went from Latania to Marta, and then from Marta's house back to Latania, so it's the same distance. So if we take our rate biking, which is 12 miles an hour, multiply that times our time, which we don't know, but we'll call it X, equals her rate walking back, which was 2.5 miles an hour, times the time there. Now the time there is going to be 1.5 minus X. So like the solution problem, the total solution minus one of them gives us the other one. There's our equation, so then we have 12x equals 2.5 times 1.5 minus x, and then we would solve. I'm not going to solve here, but again, just conceptually thinking about how to set the problem up. And then what we'll do in class is we'll work on some of these other examples, just the basic principles of how to solve and what solutions you get.